Hello and welcome to another Oblivion Plays FSX video. In this video I'll be flying the Majestic -8 on a Flybe virtual flight once again. During this flight I'll be making the relatively short hop from Exeter, Echo Golf Tango Echo to London City, Echo Golf Lima Charlie. And this route was requested by Mr. X. So just to start, I'll give an overview of Exeter Airport, both the scenery and the airport itself. The scenery is a SXAirportDesign product, which is available to purchase from Sim Market. It's a very cheap add-on, just under £10, and I think it does a very nice job of recreating Exeter Airport. If you're interested in buying it, the link is in the description below. It's certainly a significant improvement over ORBX England, as they do provide some kind of slight improvements over the default scenery, and of course it is significantly better than the default airport that comes with FSX Vanilla. So the airport is located in the southwest of England, in the county of Devon, and close to the city of Exeter. In 2007, the airport handled over 1 million passengers for the first time, although passenger throughput has subsequently declined, unfortunately. In 2014, it handled just over 700,000 passengers, a 3.4% increase compared to 2013, so it looks like the passenger numbers are recovering. The airport offers both scheduled and holiday charter flights within the United Kingdom and Europe. The airport opened in 1937 and it started operations with flights to Jersey and short flights to Plymouth and Bristol. As with many of the aerodromes within the UK, Exeter did serve as a hub for squadrons during World War II, and as a result it did get bombed a number of times, unfortunately. It continued its use as a civil airport, mostly from flights to the Channel Islands following World War II, and it now serves a number of airlines including Aegean Airlines, Air Europa, Air Malta, Norwegian Air Shuttle, Thomson and Thomas Cook, and of course Flybe. The most popular routes are to Manchester, Palma, Edinburgh, Malaga and Amsterdam, although there are a number of other destinations, including London City, which is the destination we're flying to today. So without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit and let's get going. Okay, so welcome to the cockpits. As you can see, we've got this little panel at the top left, and that's FS to Crew. So I think I mentioned either in a comment or through my Twitter feed that I've got FS to Crew, and it really does add a lot of immersion to the sim, and it also helps with these complex aircraft such as the Aerosoft Airbus series and obviously the Majestic Dash.
Checked.
Let me just mute myself because otherwise he's going to think I'm talking to him. So yeah, it's more realistic and just means you're not kind of stressing yourself out or having too many things to do at once. So what we need to do first is just set up the briefing, make sure that's all set up correctly. In fact, what I'll do is just start the pre-flight events.
Hi Captain, how are you today?
Good, thanks. And then we can set up the briefing. So that little alarm sound is just the door opening. So we're at the gates. There's no ASDEX, which is the ground radar. We'll be on LNAV. There's no need for anti-ice. Flaps 5 is fine. Exeter's probably on the borderline for between flaps 5 and flaps 15 for takeoff. Perhaps if it was just under 2,000 metres, I would definitely be using flaps 15, but I'm happy to use flaps 5. Especially as we'll be relatively light, as we're only flying over to London City. SID, nope, we'll be using vectors. There's no SID at Exeter, there's no stars either. NTOP's fine, bleeds on, yeah, that's fine, there's no concerns. So we'll play the brief in a bit. But in the meantime, let's just check that the cabin's ready to go. So we check our flight log, and I'm happy with our route today. Circuit breakers aren't simulated, but we go through the process of checking that they're not popped out, which is fine, obviously. Make sure that the emergency gear lever's working. And oxygen's on, escape hatch is closed, and then if we work from the top in our W pattern, switch on the batteries initially.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our -8 Q400.
Just turn that off, otherwise.
Luggage to be loaded on board.
Don't really know why he's done that. He doesn't. Normally FS to Crew overrides the default announcements, but not to worry. We'll just get another announcement going. Main bus tighter on, external power. We can turn on the FMSs and turn on the ground power unit on in a minute. Once it's switched on. Ice protection will not need. It was none needed at this point. We'll turn on the position light and make sure nothing else is on in terms of external lights. Happy with the altimeter units and flight data recorder.
I'm up for the walk around.
We'll do the fire test as it's our first flight of the day. We don't really need any lights on at the moment. Perhaps we will do because it is dusk later on. No APU needed today. Turn on the engine starts. London City's pretty much sea level. I think it's like 27 meters above, so we'll just set it to 0. Make sure that the forward outflow is set to closed. We're happy with the lights. Emergency lights set to arm. Soft seat belts and no smoking on. Caution lights are all working. Advisory lights are all working. Pack set to auto. Bleeds to min, not mins to bleed. Recirc on. Engine bleeds off. External power for AC control off, and the generators on. So that's the overhead panel all set and ready to go. Okay, we'll just get the ground power going. Make sure that the external power set's on, which it is. And then if we work on this side, make sure that's set as it is. And then work through the ADC tests. Which is good. And then we'll work through the stall tests. Turn the nose steering off. Make sure that the flight taxi levers in the taxi position. Turn off that warning light. Turn the yaw damper on. Nav source to FMS. That's that set. And GPWS was set to landing, which is 15. Which is, well, as if we were to do emergency landing, which would be 15, which is fine. Make sure all these are switched off. Bring the condition levers back, and then we can start the auto feather test. Put the control lock on. Parking brake is set on. And then we can turn on the ARCD.
On behalf of the entire flight crew, I wish you a pleasant.
Like I said, it's probably because I switched it on before I turned on FST crew, just to get rid of the ATIS message. But not to worry, we'll just get some extra background music and things. Otherwise, yeah, radar's off. Trims are set correctly. I think we're pretty much ready to go in terms of the cockpit setup. I'll just work through the flow now, just make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, well, actually what we can do now is just turn off the batteries. Because once the ground power unit's connected, we don't need to have the battery set on, just to kind of save their usage. So the pre-flight events, you've already heard the first officer go out for his walk around, and in a minute the gate agent will come in and ask if we're ready for boarding. That starts at 24 minutes. Otherwise, once that's happened, we can start loading up the FMS, and then the first officer will come back at about 20 minutes and start his originating flow. But in the meantime, what we can do is just set the takeoff speeds. So takeoff speeds today, we're running at about 56,742 pounds. So we'll use the 57.
Hi guys, can we start boarding now?
Yeah, she is interrupting me. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, talk to you again soon.
So yeah, so we're using the £57,000 sea level speeds. So that will be 124. And 124. And 127. $137 for the FRI. And 148 for the climb. And then we'll set the barrow once we've been given it by ATC. Set the decision height to 0. We don't need that on. And then the acceleration altitude for Exeter is 1500, so we'll put that in. And then we can start putting in the details into the FMS. So obviously with AEGTE, Echo Golf Tango Echo. And then Echo Golf Lima Charlie. There's no stars, but we'll just contact ATC now and find out what our departing runway is. So frequency is 131.2.
Clearance delivery, BEE 1301. Information, Quebec, request clearance.
BEE 1301. Information, Quebec is correct. ATC clearance to destination airport, runway 08 via T26SD113D. Initial altitude is flight level 40. Expect flight level 100 within 10 minutes after departure. Transponder to 3402. QNH 1016.
Initial altitude is flight level 40, flight level 100, then 10 minutes after departure. Transponder to 3402, BEE 1301.
BEE 1301. Feedback correct. Contact ground control on 128.5.
Roger. 128.5, BEE 1301.
So no SID. So I don't know whether the... Let's have a look. See if the waypoints that she gave are on there. Otherwise we'll just use the... Oh, they are there. D113D. I mean, she would give us obviously the headings, and that would be technically the vectors that we'll be using, but I may as well just put it straight in. Berryhead, that's what Baby HD is, and then we're going directly to Kennet. And then that's the start of the star, so if we go onto the menu option of the arrival. Expected runway 09. And it's the Spear 1 Alpha that we'll be going in on. I noticed the, those of you watching the stream that I did on Friday, the arrivals are all very kind of unnecessarily long.
Everything looks good.
That's good to know. Yeah, they're all unnecessarily long when you're coming around into London City. You kind of have to go all the way around the city and then come in. I guess it's just because of the amount of air traffic that goes around London. So you're kind of avoiding Heathrow. Well, we'll use London City 1 and then we'll see what arrival gives us. So we'll just go through, get rid of any no links.
So 42 might vacate next right, enter the apron of Victor, parking stand 11.
Next right, Victor, 1142 Mike.
427 Victor Foxtrot, contact Manchester 124.
Yep, there's all the missed approaches.
142,
oh, actually, hang on.
Victor Foxtrot, the line. Tap 25 there, clear takeoff, 210.
No, yeah, that is straight to runway 09. Cool. So we'll go onto the fuel page, put in our 0 fuel weight. Just 52,840. And fuel on board 2025 on each tank.
Stone 40 right, vacate next right, into the apron of Victor, parking stand 8.
So yeah, there's our gross weight, so just under 57,000 as I said, and we'll just make sure the navs are going to the right places. Good. Well, that's pretty much set up, so nice, easy. We'll stick it on the flight plan page. We were also given our initial altitude, which was 4,000, so if we activate the flight director, I don't know why they decided to put it there of all places, but why not? And then set that to 4,000, stick it on outsell, and we'll set the heading for the runway, which is 07, let's get the chart up, I think it's 079,
43, proceed to Sierra.
078.
Light slow.
So the first officer started his originating check, so he's going through the GPWS test.
Pull up.
So we'll set the heading bug on, and then that'll just give us some nice reference points for when we take off. Once the first officer finishes his originating flow, I'll start the departure briefing. So the QNH was 1016, so we'll set that now. And we're otherwise pretty much set up, so I've got pretty quick at setting up the dash now. Obviously, if you're not used to it, it can take a little bit longer.
03, taxi via Foxtrot, Charlie, gate 8. Via Foxtrot, Charlie, to gate 8, 3503.
I will go back to the first page, that's why it's flashing. Just get rid of the message. GPUs, no rain. I don't know why this always comes up. If anyone knows how to stop it from doing that, I'd love to know why. We'll get rid of the auto feather test now as well, actually. I always kind of forget about it, but yeah, it's passed, so that's fine. So he's finished his originating flow, so we'll just do the departure brief.
Are you ready for the departure briefing?
Go ahead.
This will be a standard left seat departure. We're at a gate and pushback is required, so you will be handling the engine start. The departure runway and taxi route will be assigned by ATC. For the taxi, this airport does not use EZdok, so leave the transponder off the taxi. Pilot flying nav source for the departure will be LNAV. Anti-ice is not required today. As for the takeoff plan, we'll use flaps 5. For the routing itself, the departure will be by ATC vectors. We'll use NTOP for the takeoff power. And the bleeds will be on. For the safety brief, any abnormality prior to 80 knots, I'll stop the aircraft on the runway. After 80 knots, I'll stop for an engine failure or fire. Anything after V1 will take it airborne. You let the tower know and we'll need a straight out. At 1,000 feet, we'll engage altitude hold, accelerate to V-climb, retract the flaps, engage IIS mode for our V-climb, and complete the memory items. Any questions?
That's checked and no questions.
Departure briefing complete.
558, request taxi. 558, taxi via Alpha.
Okay, so it's just a case of waiting now for the passengers to get on board, and the business jet's on his way. But yeah, so I'll probably skip ahead now, and I'll rejoin you when we start GSX boarding.
Capstone 40 Mike, vacate next right, and to the apron of Victor, arcing stand 8. Metric 43, proceed to Sierra. Just crossing the control zone behind the
I think the bus driver was just showing off his skills then. Alright, so the boarding's all done. The sounds are still going on in the background with the probably one of the most depressed sounding flight attendants I've ever heard. She does not sound like she's enjoying her job. So at 7 minutes the gate agent will come in and give me the load sheet. And then, oh, there's a... Sure that wasn't there before. The Dash 8's appeared. Don't know whether that landed or whether that's just kind of spawned in. Anyway, yeah, so then we'll start our announcements, and then it's pretty much all go from there. Yeah, I like this FSX crew thing. It seems to add another kind of level with the pre-flight stuff. Gives you a little bit of time to prep and all that kind of stuff.
Here's the load sheet for you. Have a nice trip.
Thanks. But yeah, I think you can, from what I've read in the manual, you can kind of request things from the flight attendants and stuff, so you can get coffees and you can do strange requests like that. I've not tried any of those options just yet. I'm quite happy with just interacting with the first officer.
142, go to submit cross goodbye. Sam 250, clear takeoff, 210 degrees 19.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today. As you locate your assigned seats, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items in our overhead compartments. If you need assistance, contact the flight attendant. If you are unable to accommodate any item in the cabin, please bring it to the boarding door and we will check it.
The joined door Simpson.
Just crossing the control zone boundary now, no height restriction.
If you're seated at
No height restrictions on turn 4 zone.
Whoa!
Past 2,500 feet.
What's he up to?
Go 4 zone.
The world's bumpiest road. Right, let's do my my announcement. So it has a announcement suite thing on the FSX crew. So you just switch to the PA and then hit the PA button. And here are all the options. So you've got the welcome message.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from the flight deck, this is the captain speaking.
And then there's a whole host of other
On
ones,
behalf of the
including
first
kind of
officer and the
emergency
cabin crew,
announcements
I'd like to
and,
welcome aboard this flight today.
other
Just a couple of quick
announcements.
words about safety.
In
In
the
a moment,
phases
the
of
cabin
flight.
crew will be giving you a safety demonstration. Even for the frequent flyers amongst you, I urge you to give this your fullest attention, as it's not just for your safety, but also for all those around you. Also, please remember to keep your seatbelt fastened whilst you remain seated, as even with the seatbelt lights extinguished, just in case of unexpected turbulence in the air. I would also like to remind all passengers that this is a non-smoking flight and that smoking aboard the aircraft is not permitted. As for now, we're just waiting for the final few pieces of paperwork, and we'll be able to close the doors, get our clearance from ATC and be on our way. With those formalities out the way, please sit back, relax, make full use of all the facilities aboard this aircraft as you wish, and I'll talk to you all again in the cruise. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we can start our checklists and bits and bobs now. So 24-hour system check checklist.
Engine fire detection.
Test.
APU fire detection.
Test.
Baggage smoke warning aft and forward.
Test.
Stall warning test 1 and 2.
Test.
ADC 1 and 2.
Test.
Auto feather.
Test.
GPWS TCAS. Test. PA system.
Test.
Trims.
Test.
24-hour system checks. Checklist complete.
Before start checklist.
Stand by.
So the escape hatch is closed, circuit breakers we've checked. We can just check the HSI.
Originating checks flow.
That's 2000 psi, which is great. Oops. No steering is off. Emergency brake we put on park and check pressure. Power levers disc. Condition levers free off. Complete.
Complete. Gear pins. Stowed. Pre-flight checks.
Complete.
Complete. External power. APU voltage.
On. Checked. 27 volts.
Circuit breakers.
Checked.
Checked. Escape hatch.
Closed.
Nose steering.
Off.
Flight guidance control panel. Set. Fuel quantity. 4057 pounds on board.
2269 pounds required.
Hydraulic number 3 pressure.
EC639.
Check 2000 psi. Check 2000 psi.
Emergency brake. Pressure.
Park checked.
Power levers.
Disc.
Condition levers.
Fuel off.
Emergency light switch.
Arm.
Fasten seatbelt switch.
On.
On. Departure briefing.
Complete.
Complete. Before start checklist complete.
As you can see, sometimes you just have to
Hi, Captain.
exaggerate
the
how you
cabin is ready
pronounce
to
things.
go.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
So it doesn't pick up R's particularly well, so you have to kind of exaggerate them. And you obviously need to be very clear in what you say. But otherwise, it's really good. I haven't had too many problems with it.
Right, and to the apron of Victor, arcing stand 8.
So the doors are out. batteries we can have to switch on now. Oh, EZdok's going a bit crazy. Anti-collision light returned to red now. AP bleed we don't need to worry about, and the engine is clear. Engine's clear. Engine start checklist.
Battery master main auxiliary standby.
On.
Doors fueling lights.
Closed and out.
Anti-collision light.
Red.
APU bleed.
Off.
Engine clear on 2.
Clear on 2.
Engine start checklist complete.
Alright, so let's get start up and pushback clearance.
027 Victor Foxtrot, contact Manchester 124.2 by
142, 027 Victor Foxtrot, goodbye.
Sam 250, clear takeoff, 210 degrees 19.
Ground control, BEE 1301. Request start up and pushback.
BEE 1301, startup is approved.
Approved. BEE 1301.